A few years ago, a video went viral showing a school in China where students wore EEG attention tracking headbands. Cameras monitored their facial expressions and algorithms rated their concentration, sending real-time focus updates directly to teachers and parents. The Western media reacted with immediate dystopic panic, viewing it strictly as an extreme, localized classroom monitoring experiment. But if you view this merely as a school project, you are completely missing the geopolitical chessboard. This classroom was not an isolated trial. It was a micro-sandbox. It was the training ground for data ingestion models built to understand human behavior at the most granular level. When a state apparatus masters the architecture required to ingest, analyze, and predict the cognitive output of a single room of citizens, it unlocks the blueprint to orchestrate the heartbeat of an entire empire. This is the foundation of the modern cognitive city, and tomorrow's global statecraft will not be won by those with the biggest armies, but by those who own the master orchestration layer of civil infrastructure. To understand how this scale replicates across a society, we have to look at the macro infrastructure engine driving it, Alibaba's City Brain. Introduced in Hangzhou and expanded into megacities like Shenzhen, City Brain is a centralized artificial intelligence neural network. It controls the literal nervous system of the urban matrix. Legacy cities run on fragmented bureaucracy. Traffic lights operate on static timers. Ambulances fight through civilian congestion, and law enforcement responds to events after they occur. City Brain completely deletes this operational friction by hooking up millions of street-level cameras, public transport telemetry, mobile location data, and social media feeds into a single unified computing core. The AI takes over. It manages thousands of traffic intersections simultaneously. It detects accidents within seconds of impact. It dynamically alters traffic light sequences ahead of approaching emergency vehicles, creating an unhindered path through dense urban bottlenecks. The metrics of success are undeniable. Hangzhou went from being one of the top 5 most congested cities in China to dropping out of the top 50 entirely. Ambulance arrival times were slashed by half. On paper, it is a masterpiece of systemic optimization. But how does this stack actually operate? Beneath the surface? Traditional infrastructure relies on a reactive model. Data is collected by separate departments, siloed in independent servers, and analyzed weeks too late. The cognitive city operates on continuous ingestion, edge sensors from environmental monitors to facial recognition turnstiles, stream unstructured data into a massive distributed cloud architecture. The system doesn't wait for a human operator to look at a screen. The AI maps the real-world city onto an interactive digital twin, running predictive simulations milliseconds into the future. If the algorithm detects a sudden spike in public transport commuters at an exact subway exit, it automatically adjusts nearby ride-sharing coordinates and alters traffic light cycles 4 blocks away before the gridlock even materializes. It is a level of civil automation that completely eradicates the concept of structural waste. This brings us to the ultimate strategic crossroads facing global leadership. Right now, there are 3 distinct global models fighting for the future. First, you have the Western model. It is heavily fragmented, bogged down by legacy bureaucracy, and slowed by immense regulatory friction regarding consumer data. Second, you have the top-down Eastern model. It achieves absolute operational efficiency, but it requires a total societal trade-off, the complete surrender of data privacy. Every movement, every financial transaction, and as we saw in the classroom, every cognitive fluctuation becomes state property. But there is a third paradigm emerging right here in the Middle East, the hybrid model of sovereign trust sandboxes, seen in hubs like Dubai and Abu Dhabi. This approach aims to capture the cognitive convenience of automated infrastructure without resorting to top-down surveillance. By leveraging localized public-private partnerships, decentralized identities, and strict cryptographic sovereign data frameworks, they are building cities that prioritize the citizen's user experience. As we close out our first full month on this channel, I want to leave you with a vital perspective. The cities of the future are computing environments. They are massive, interconnected software platforms. For corporate executives, institutional investors, and sovereign leaders, the takeaway is clear. Do not look at emerging technology through the lens of individual gadgets. The classroom headbands aren't about education. Autonomous vehicles aren't about transportation. They are data collection nodes. The true battleground of the late 2020s is data orchestration sovereignty. If your organization or your state relies on an external architecture to run its civic neural network, you have effectively signed away your independence. The infrastructure of tomorrow requires an unshakable foundation of distributed trust and robust native systems. Thank you for being part of this community. We are just getting started. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and prepare yourself for the massive structural transformations ahead. Let me know your thoughts on China's city brain in the comments below. I'll see you in the next masterclass.